Underrated or overrated? Joop. Let's talk about the most underrated or overrated perfumes in the industry. Two brands come to mind. One is Cool Water by Davidoff.
Right.
And the next one is this brand here, which is Joop, which came out in 1989. Now, a lot of people out there would know this brand, and it's a very, very popular perfume that's been out for years, and it's reasonable price to buy as well. But we want to know if it's underrated or overrated.
Yeah.
Because there's more than one form of it now. Comes in 3 forms since 2002.
Yeah, 2002 was the latest one, which is this one here.
That's right.
As you see, this one's Le Parfum, the other one is Eau de Parfum, and this one is Eau de Toilette. Came out in 1989. If you look at it, it's a very masculine bottle. Look at the bottle, masculine. Look at the colour. Now, when this came out, everyone thought, "Oh, what's that? Yeah, it looks a bit sort of feminine." But the smell is incredible. It's a powerhouse. You put this on you, you can be on you for hours.
Now, a lot of people used to wear this back in the day. Me being one, and it used to be so popular, but then it died off, didn't it? Because everyone had that kind of old-fashioned. Do you remember you used to wear Joop? Do you remember you used to wear Joop? Do you remember you used to wear
Joop
this?
or Joop? It's supposed to be pronounced Joop. Joop. Yeah.
Oh, so it's not Joop.
Yeah.
It's Joop.
Yeah. It's spelled Joop, but it's Joop.
Joop.
Y-O-P-E. Again, with this version, this is a reformulated version, by the way. This is not a vintage bottle. The vintage bottle was more sort of like redder. Yeah. This is. It looks, it still smells great. It still smells great, but this changed the game. This and Davidoff Cool Water changed the game.
Yeah.
Everyone tried to replicate this fragrance. Everyone tried to replicate this fragrance because if you went to, I was 19 when this came out, 1989, and I rushed out to get this. Because everyone was wearing it, and you can walk past someone and like, oh, he's got Joop on. He's got Joop on. He's got Joop. Or
That's so mad.
Cool Water.
That smell just brings back memories, man.
Yeah, it is.
That smell just brings back memories.
Yeah.
I still think it's one of the best.
I like it. I mean, this is the first time I smelled it in a long time. I bought this one today, by the way, guys, so we can review it. So it's back in my collection.
Right. So let's break this down. So they have an Eau de Toilette version,
which is this one, yeah,
which is the lighter pink. Then they have a Eau de Parfum, which is slightly, as you can see here, the colour is slightly a bit different.
Copper gold.
So that's the obviously Eau de Parfum, and that's Eau de Toilette. So you can see the colour difference in the bottle. Yeah. So then you've got the strongest version, well, classified as the strongest version as a Le Parfum.
Yeah.
There, as you can see, it's darker. So this is the Eau de Toilette version, Eau de Parfum version, La Parfum, and then you've got the Eau de Toilette. So the colour of the bottle is completely different due to the concentration.
Yeah.
So a lot of people get confused by what's the difference between Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, and Le Parfum. Let's start there first. So what would you say the difference is?
Right.
Because everyone out there gets confused. Like, well, I don't know the difference. How's it going to smell different? Is it stronger? Does it last longer?
It depends on which designer, which house of perfume designer, what their version of Eau de Toilette might be like. Right, this is Eau de Toilette, but you would think it's an Eau de Parfum because it's really strong. It'll last for hours on you. But Eau de Toilette is like, it's the amount of alcohol and strength a perfume is. Then you've got Eau de Parfum, which is stronger, which mainly women's perfumes are Eau de Parfum or Parfum. Parfum is one of the strongest, and then you've got Extrait, which is pure. Like in a small bottle like that, you just need to dab it on your neck or anywhere you want. And in the old days, every male perfume was called a cologne. Eau de Cologne, which means water of Cologne, which was a region in France. Eau de Cologne is probably, in the old days, it was a normal strength. If you get Eau de Cologne now, it's usually classed as a fresh version or a summer version.
So, as this, let's just say, does it make a difference in how long the smell lasts on your skin?
Yes, it does. Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, if you have the aftershave version of this, even though it's still quite strong, right? It's supposed to last between an hour and 2 hours on you. Aftershave, because that's what it's for. It's
splash. That you talking splash?
Yeah, it's a splash on. Yeah, it's a splash on. The old days you used to get spray aftershaves as well. Yeah. Not just splash-ons, but it's supposed to serve a purpose, and that purpose is not to just make you smell nice. It's actually to condition your skin after you've had a shave. That's why it's called aftershave. So
the concentration is level. It's different due to how much water and how much alcohol is in this bottle.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we're going to go. Let's just say Le Parfum, which is the strongest, has less water, more perfume oil in there, and more alcohol, you would say, yes? And then it gets to a weaker point as it goes down.
That all depends on which house. Some perfume houses might use, their eau de toilette might be stronger than, it might be an eau de parfum concentration.
Yes. It depends obviously the house, what they're doing.
It changes.
But the general rule of, the strengths is generally that we're going from Eau de Toilette, which is slightly weaker in smell, and we're going to Le Parfum, which is the strongest. Now, how comes, a lot of people don't know this, that the smell changes as the concentration gets?
You have the 3 different levels. For instance, you might go into a store and try a fragrance on a card or on your skin. Now, on your skin, most important, if you try it on your skin and you think, oh, I don't like that, oh, it's not my colour, so. And then you go shopping all day and you go home, and after 3 or 4 hours you're at home, you're sitting down, you made a cup of tea or whatever, you're going to eat something, all of a sudden you go like that, hey, what's that? And you think, hey, that's banging me, that smells wicked. And you realise that what you sprayed on earlier that you didn't like, you like now. And that's what happens with perfume, it changes on your body. That's why when you spray perfume on, you should never rub. Once you rub, you've attracted friction and heat on the fragrance, and you've destroyed all the molecules. You've destroyed the dry down, you've destroyed the middle note, whatever, the top note. You've destroyed it. So that's what usually happens. You buy a fragrance, you might buy a fragrance and you have it for a year or 2 years, and you go back to it, you think, you know what, I quite like this now. Then you start wearing it.
But perfume evolves as fashion evolves.
Yes, it does. It does.
Because back in the day when, years ago, if you said someone to smell oud, they would find it, overpowering in the 90s. People used to smell it and go, oh my God, that's so strong. Now,
strong, bitter, and
people are attracted to that smell now.
More accepted.
Yeah.
Like this now, for me, this is what this reminds me. This conjures up 1989. I was 19 years old. I had a friend of mine, and she bought me a bottle. She loved it. And when I smell this, it reminds me of her. It really does remind me of her. It conjures up college, BTEC national course that I was doing in Croydon. That's what it conjures up. And all my mates wore it.
This was my first purchase myself.
Yeah.
As a aftershave was this. Perfect.
But you must have got it years later after.
Yeah, I'm young, obviously.
So you're younger than me.
Yeah. So I wore this, and back then, I mean, how much can you pick up a bottle of these now? Like, let's just say the Eau de Toilette version. How much you can?
I paid $34.95 for this from Boots.
Okay, right. I bought the Le Parfum version, and they had a sale on in Superdrugs.
Yeah.
And I paid 22.
Yeah, sometimes.
And I bought one of us each, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. One as well.
So there's always offers going on these. There's always offers going on this brand, especially if it's an old range. So they're always doing deals on it. So try and look out for them. What we want to do now is going to spray each one and see where the difference is. Now I've worn all 3 of these before, and I've tried all 3 of them, and I always find the one on my skin that lasts longest that I've used would be this one.
The original.
and the Eau de Parfum.
Yeah.
Now, I thought buying the Le Parfum would be stronger and it would last me all day and I would get more compliments on it, let's just say. But that wasn't the case, even though the concentration was higher.
Yeah.
I got more compliments I ever did was on the Eau de Toilette,
Always.
which is weaker, but it would cause more compliments. I don't know if that's because of the settledness of it.
Well, some people don't like this.
It's the classic though.
For me, it's a classic.
Yeah.
Because it was a game changer at the time. But I spoke to a friend yesterday last night on the phone. I said, we're going to do a review on Joop. She goes, I can't stand you. Okay. I said, listen, we're going to do a review on perfumes we don't like and we do like. We're just going to give everyone else's opinions.
Yeah.
We're not going to be snobs on, oh, this is not a high-end perfume. Perfume is perfume. That's the way I see it.
Right, so Eau de Toilette, let's just say.
Yeah.
What we saying on concentration level of this is quite low compared to Le Parfum and Eau de Parfum.
Oh, yeah.
We've just sprayed it on the card and we know what the original smells like, and probably a lot of people remember the smell of Joop.
It was stronger.
Yes, it was stronger before.
Vintage version is stronger.
So let's spray the Eau de Parfum next and see the difference in the two, so we can see.
Right, let me have a stir of that. You have your turn. Right. This is supposed to have more cinnamon and a hazelnut kick to this. You can smell the hazelnut. This
smells softer.
It's softer.
This one smells softer.
Yeah.
It's not as harsh than this. The Toilette version I find a bit harsher.
The only difference I see, the only similarities I see with these two is that they're both sweet. They both have cinnamon. They both have amber. But you can tell that's not original Joop.
No, of course.
You know? I mean, you smell that, you'll go, yeah, that's Joop.
This still overpowers this though.
This is not Joop. Joop original.
This still overpowers this though.
Definitely.
This is stronger than this.
Yeah.
So the Eau de Toilette version is stronger than the Eau de Parfum.
Maybe if you wait a while, it might have a similarity.
I mean, this hasn't moved since I sprayed it.
Yeah.
Compared to.
So, Joop.
That's Eau de.
OG.
Yeah.
Original gangster. Is that
Eau de Parfum?
EDP? Yeah. Okay.
Right. So let's spray the Le Parfum version, which is supposed to be the highest concentration.
Have a look.
Man, different smell. Another different smell, man.
That's not the last time it did smell different.
Bloody hell, man. The major difference in it. And it's the same perfume, but just different concentration. And when you smell it, when you spray it like that, and you spray them, all three of them together, on a different piece of paper, and then you're smelling one at a time, that's when you notice it.
Yeah.
I've never noticed a difference like that before.
Maybe it's because we're saying it on paper rather than on skin. Because it'll work differently on your skin.
I know, but you'll get a drift of it with a drift of the idea though on a piece of paper. The Le Parfum, I would say,
it's less sweet.
It's less sweet, yeah.
It's drying down to something else now. I don't know what it is.
Do you think it's a bit of tonka bean in that?
Yeah, I think they've all got tonka bean. Gotta have tonka bean. There is amber in it. There's amber in all of them. This one's got of a nutty hazelnut.
Yeah, that's a hazelnut smell to
Even
that.
though on Fragrantica it doesn't say that. But some other reviewers, some other gentlemen reviewers,
right, so
said there's a bit of a hazelnut in it, which I smelled straight away.
Right, I've just smelled this now compared to this one, so the concentration level is completely different between these two as well.
This is the less sweet one. This is the less sweet one. And at first I thought this one's more gloopy, syrupy.
Yeah. Smelling it on paper, my favourite on paper is this one.
Really?
But it doesn't last as long as this one on my skin, as the Eau de Parfum. So the Le Parfum version is my favourite when I smell it when it first goes on my skin.
One of these two.
But after the dry down, I'd only say this would probably be the original. Will still be my favourite out of all of it.
Yeah.
And it's an order to let.
Do you know what? Now I've bought a bottle, I might sort of like start rocking it again, mate. Because that is.
I mean,
it's just. I'm 53 now. Like,
this is what I was saying about this perfume. Underrated for the price. It's underrated. That's what I think. It's an underrated perfume, aftershave, and for the longevity of it on your skin, it's so good.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think you get a good 6 hours out and all that to let 6 to 8 hours on it, I think.
Do you know, guys, you know what this reminds me of? Close your eyes and think of an Edwardian dandy with a top hat, long coat, a cane, and walking. He's just sprayed himself with some old style cologne, which is very flowery, sweet pea, tuberose. It's an Edwardian dandy because if a lot of men would not wear this because it's too sweet.
Yeah,
it's too.
But it gets
even though it's masculine, it's too sweet. It's like you got Joop by Boucheron, same Edwardian dandy. Habit Rouge, which I wear, and both the other one just said as well, Joop, I wear. I like that powdery, cinnamon, powdery, floral, sweet smell. And people say, oh, it smells a bit too feminine. There's something about it that's masculine at the same time. An Edwardian dandy walking down the streets of Piccadilly with his cane, top hat, going to his gentleman's club. That's what it reminds me of.
This gets a lot of head turnings of women as well.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a big sale.
You get a lot of compliments.
Every time I wore this perfume, now obviously I'm a hairdresser by trade. Every time I wore this to work, all my clients would compliment on it, how beautiful it smells. And they would still know when I would say to them, what are you wearing? And I would say, I'm wearing Joop. They'd be like, really? I remember Joop.
I remember Joop.
And it brings back everyone's memories of when Joop was the big perfume out.
Do you know what? Everyone's got this in the back of their closet somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Me, of all people, with about 800-900 bottles of fragrance, I went looking for a bottle this week so we can do the review. Could I find one? No. Last year I had 15 bottles because I bought Job Lot perfumes to sell on. Right? Couldn't, so I had to go and buy a fresh one today. So that's back in the collection. Not going to sell that. I'm going to keep that.
I like how they've kept all the bottles the same shape.
Yeah.
Everything's the same.
Very manly, isn't it?
Very manly.
Chiseled bottle.
Just the colour.
Faceted.
The colour of the liquid itself, the perfume itself, is completely different as the concentration level changes, which is amazing.
You know, in the old days it was more red than that.
Yeah, would you say it's more similar to this?
Similar to that, but without the pinky.
That's more. This is more kind of like it looks like a whiskey colour. This does.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're looking at
copper gold.
Yeah. What would you? Which one would you buy?
These two.
Okay. If you had one, you're going to wear one Joop out of the three concentrations. Which one would you wear? Buy and keep.
The middle one.
Okay.
Because
what's your choice on that one then?
It's my age as well. Look, I would say, I'm not saying I wouldn't wear it, but I have a choice. I had to wear one. It'll be this one.
So that all that parfum would go for.
Yeah. But then, you know, there's a few Joop's about. There's a lot of Joop's. There's Joop Wow, Joop Ice, Joop Wild, Joop Sunshine,
Joop Jump.
Joop Jump. There's lots of Joop.
But we're talking Joop Home now.
Yeah, I know. There's another two that are amazing, and they're called Black King and Red King. And they're becoming very rare now. I've got 2 bottles, and that's what we've got to review next. We're doing a review on them.
Yeah.
They are amazing. Black bottle, and the other one's red, but like a matte red. And they're like this original Joop, but one's leathery and one's more. They're both leathery. One's sweeter than the other, but they are more masculine and more mature for the mature man.
Now, the one I would pick out of these 3, I would still go back to the order to let version on the Joop.
Okay.
And the reason why, it's just simple reasons, to be fair. I like the smell of all of them, but for me, on my skin, this lasts me longer. I get more compliments on this one, on the Eau de Toilette version, and I can smell it as well. It's just brings me back a lot more memories, this version, than the Eau de Parfum or the La Parfum version. But the Eau de Toilette, the original, obviously one of the first one that came out, is still, I would pick out of these three here, definitely.
That one, yeah. Original.
I would go for the original, and you would go for the Eau de Parfum. So the La Parfum, we would say probably overpriced, because it's slightly a bit more. It would be more expensive unless there's an offer on.
You can usually get this on an offer. I mean,
is it because it doesn't sell? That's why it's an offer. That's what I would suggest. That's what I would say.
I think with Joop.
I mean, if that wasn't an offer, I wouldn't have bought it.
No, I wouldn't have bought it.
No,
I would have bought something else. I would have.
That's right.
Bought something by Cologne or Dior.
But that's crazy, because you'd think people would go for a Le Parfum out of, and they'll three ones in front of them, and they'll go, this is all Le Toilette, this is all Le Parfum. And you would ask the woman behind the counter, or the man would say, this is the strongest one. You would initially want to go try that one first.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you'd think that's going to last you longer.
Yeah.
That's going to turn more heads, and it's going to be stronger in smell.
Yeah.
But in this, it hasn't worked out that way.
But you know what? They've all got the same DNA. They've got that sweet, flowery, cinnamon, amber, tonka. They've all got the same. It's all the same DNA, but you can tell which one's which. You definitely, if you know Joop, that you've worn it in the 80s and 90s up to whatever, you can tell which is the original Joop. You should be able to tell which is the original Joop. I can.
Yeah.
Let's put that like that. I know, even without. I know I've written on there, but you know you can tell which is the original Joop. The EDP, you'll say, yeah, that smells like Joop, but there's something about it. And this one, it's got the sweetness and everything, but you might not say it's Joop. You might say, oh, it's something else. That sort of same family.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's what summed it up for me today. Is it's a great insight that you know you smell them, all three of them, all different strengths, and you know I'm guessing other ranges as well. You know, when they come out of different smells, you know, we're looking at Christian Sauvage, also the Sauvage, obviously, or Sauvage as well, where you've got Eau de Toilette, you know, you've got
Eau
Sauvage now.
He's got 7 different variations.
7 different variations.
Not Sauvage,
no.
Johnny Depp Sauvage. Eau Sauvage.
But let's talk about Sauvage itself. That's got Elixir as well now.
Yeah, which is the best smelling one for me.
But yeah, the Elixir. So tell what the difference with Elixir then in people's ranges? That's the new everything now.
I think Elixir is when you have a bottle of extract, which is pure.
Yeah.
Because when you buy a parfum version of Chanel number 5, there's an extract version which I think is a little bit stronger. You just need to go dabble it and it will just last. And there's small bottles, 7.5 mil to 15 mil. I think they do a 30 mil.
The Sauvage, I've got the Elixir version upstairs, and I've got the Le Parfum version. The Elixir version, in anything I buy, is 10 times better.
Oh yeah, I bought an Elixir today of a fragrance.
Yeah, we have to do that for the next video.
It's the next video. I'm not telling you which one it is.
Well, hopefully, you know, we've covered a bit of ground on the Joop area, you know, a bit of background and the different variations of these 3 here as well, strengths as well. And if you want to see anything, you want to, you know, comment or anything, you want to ask any questions, guys, you know, we'll try and respond to any comments.
Free.
Yeah, feel free, put a comment on below the video, and we'll get to as many replies as we can. We always try and reply to the videos. And that's us done for tonight, guys. And then we'll see you back for the next episode.
Yeah.
Laylas.